Hey everybody. Hmm. Well, this goes out to the world. Chronic pain is something that a lot of people face. And I just wanted to kind of touch base on this because it's been a while. I respect and understand pain. And I guess it's just because I woke up this morning and I felt very grateful that I'm able to stand up, and most of all that I'm able to sleep. Just being alive and being able to walk is great, but there was a time about a year ago, actually, well, last year at this time I was working on a remodel house in the West Hills, and I was putting in cabinets, building custom shelving and all this different stuff for it, installing doors, decking, siding, and all of this stuff wears on me. You know, my body can only take so much. I'm 6'2", and I'm not exactly a strong guy, but I can hold my own when I'm doing construction. But when you're that tall, leaning over takes that much longer. The little things add up. So anyway, I 5 years ago, I was moving some lumber, and it was like the end of the day. The people I was working for were kind of yuppies. They wanted the lumber out of the street where it got dumped, and I just wanted to go home. So I figured that I would ease their fears. It was probably my own fault of some car hitting them on the street, even though they had cones out there. So anyway, I moved this two huge, two loads of 2x4s. I don't know if you know how big a load is, but you know it's a big ass pallet. And I was by myself, and it was raining, and I was walking up and down this kind of sloped driveway. Just that twisting action for like an hour. I pinched my sciatic nerve. I didn't notice it for a few days, and it got worse and worse and worse. This was 5 years ago. It got to the point where I couldn't even walk. It got to the point where I just could not move. And I just didn't know what to do. So being the stubborn type guy I am, I just continued to work through it. And I finished the remodel. I continued to work with him for about another year on other projects, other kitchens and remodels. And eventually he ran out of money, and I had to quit for a while. I was basically like left hanging with cabinets in my garage for him. It was just like, okay, what do I do? And so I went back off on my own and looking for my other jobs. Anyway, it's a roundabout way of saying that I spent another 5 years working with pain, doing work that I know I shouldn't be doing. And so there's, on one hand, I'm sitting here, I have to bring in an income, I have a family, I have to make a living. On the other hand, I can't sleep at night, I can't lay down for more than 10 minutes before my back starts to hurt. So I didn't know what to do. Anyway, about a year ago I started working for that guy doing remodels, and it got worse and worse, and I just kept pushing myself. And I wanted to make an impression, you know. I'm a hard worker. And around March, I was doing a deck out in the back by myself. It was a cedar deck with, you know, big long planks. I had to build the whole thing, put up all the joists, all the rim joists, everything on a big hill. It was just a lot of heavy lumber. And I knew better. I knew better, but I kept doing it because I needed money. And around March, something snapped back there, and that was it. I was like, there was one day I got in my car, I could barely even drive home. But anyway, I quit. I said, I can't do this anymore. I can't do construction anymore. And I made the decision to just walk away from construction altogether. And in the meantime, I've been looking for various jobs that are more related to just finished carpentry or smaller stuff, or maybe making my own woodwork, but it's very difficult. You can't just work in construction unless you can lift a full sheet of plywood constantly. So I guess what I'm getting at in a roundabout way is that right now I'm pain-free, and I am so grateful about it. And this last spring, I was in such excruciating pain that there was a week there where I was just like crying on the floor almost. I was writhing in a ball, agony. I could not move. And so looking back on that, having that to look back on and say, okay, I caused myself this pain by improper lifting or working. I mean, even though I was properly lifting, at some point you're going to break. I mean, your body can only handle so much. And me being tall makes it harder. But looking back on it, it gives me a whole new lease on life, a whole new outlook on everything. And I think if I'd never had that pain, would I really respect being pain-free the way that I do today? It really opens you up. It really opens you up. So I guess all I really wanted to say here was that for all those people out there who have pain, and I know there's a few of you who are my subs, who have been subs for a while, who we've talked about this before, and I hope that you're doing well, all of you, because each one of you that shared your personal pain experience with me, I carried that, and I think about that, you know. When I hear one of my subs talk about, how they need certain medications, or that their pain is this or that, I remember those things, because it takes a lot out of you to try to live life when you're in pain. And it's funny because looking back, I can't believe that I was still even making videos at that point. I couldn't sit here in my chair. I could make a video for a couple minutes and I would just, be in such pain. But looking back, I'm just glad I didn't sit and gripe about my pain all the time. We have to be grateful for what we have. When I was in pain, the only way that I made it through my pain was to be grateful that I could at least walk and talk. Sometimes I couldn't even walk, but at least I was alive, and I had my brain, I was able to function somewhat. And now looking back, I'm grateful that I'm not in that pain. So there's always something to look back on. So every event that we face in our lives that we consider negative or harmful or painful, there's no time to dwell on those things. You don't look back and say, oh, I was in pain, that sucked. You think, I'm so glad I'm not in pain anymore. And I think that's how life situations are. Whenever we get ourselves into something where we're in physical or mental pain, it's something that we learn from. I guess the unfortunate part is that with physical pain, there's not a lot you can do about it. You can't work out the pain sometimes. Sometimes you just have to stop working to get rid of the pain, and that makes it even harder. I'm a guy who likes to work. I like to labor. I enjoy it, but not anymore. So anyway, I've been able to sleep a full night for the last couple months, and it's been the most wonderful thing I've ever experienced. I have a very light pain down my left leg once in a while when I turn wrong. And sometimes my back pops, but other than that, I don't have a shooting electrical pain down my leg constantly, 24 hours a day. I feel like my leg's going to explode. That's what sciatic pain does to you. It's bad. It's really bad. Anyway, well, I just wanted to share my pain story, and just in hopes that if someone out there is in pain right now, that they can learn to deal with it, and it will pass, and you will look back on it and be grateful. It's just a matter of making it through. So take care, everybody, and I hope you're not in pain, but if you are, just look at it positive as best you can. Take care.